seriously disrupting fuel supplies all across the country. Now futures up 89 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. Overcast skies today with a high of 63. Winds out of the southwest 15 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, chance for scattered rain showers, lows around 34. Highs around 56. Tomorrow, lots of sunshine. Upper 50s Sunday, 40s Monday. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 36.
Warner Hospital providing ENT health and otolaryngology services to DeWitt County with Gibson Area Hospital and Dr. Jonathan Glickstein. Your ENT health is important, and Dr. Glickstein is an experienced otolaryngologist specializing in ear, nose, and throat conditions and head and neck surgery, dedicated to excellence in patient care for the best ENT services. Now seeing patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. To book your appointment in Clinton, call 217-784-2808.
Scott Baumhunter from Baum Chevrolet Buick Quintet. Search our big selection of pre-owned cars and trucks by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Dr. Bradley Grant here from Midstate Eye in Clinton. October 15th is the deadline for your child's eye exam. If your little one is entering kindergarten or new to your school's district, make an appointment now by clicking on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Let's face it, nobody likes to compromise. When it comes to your soybean fields, you shouldn't have to choose between powerful weed control and keeping your crops safe from stress and injury. Thankfully, there's Tendovo, a broad-spectrum pre-emergence herbicide formulated to fight weeds without sacrificing crop safety, delivering a higher potential yield for your fields. Tendovo, raising the pre-emergence bar one clean row at a time. Always read and follow label directions. Please check with your local extension service to ensure registration status.
Ever walk across your cornfield and find a nice surprise, like that favorite vice grip that fell off the planter last spring? Well, soon you might just come up on an even bigger treasure. More corn, thanks to Acuron herbicide. Acuron gives you 5 to 15 more bushels an acre than any other herbicide when used in a pre-emergence application at full label rates. Talk to your Syngenta retailer or visit findmorebushels.com. Acuron Yield Advantage range based on 2016 Syngenta and University trials. Always read and follow label instructions. Acuron is a restricted use pesticide.
Strange things happen when October comes to Clinton, Illinois. Spooky yet intriguing events encircle the town. Experience the madness for yourself. Friday and Saturday nights, October 7th through the 29th, at the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce. Terror on Washington Street Haunted House. Located at 513 East Washington Street in Clinton. For more info, go to clintonhauntedhouse.com. Visit us if you dare.
News time is 8 minutes after 8 o'clock on this Friday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded local newscast streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Central Illinois advocates are reminding communities of the warning signs of domestic violence. Domestic violence can take on many forms, and Jennifer Tolliday and Andrea Kocher with Dove Inc. indicate it is an issue that knows no social bounds. Tolliday says abuse can be physical, but it often starts subtly through emotional and mental abuse.
Domestic violence is any kind of abuse that is between intimate partners, or it could be family members or people living in the same household together, cohabitating. There's several different types of abuse, so it can look like several different things. There's financial abuse, there's sexual abuse, there's physical abuse, there's mental and emotional abuse. Usually starts very gradually, very subtle, so that the victim isn't even aware it's going on. Mm-hmm. So we've talked before about how they will just start off wonderful, loving, just amazing love bombing over the top. And then gradually they will start chipping away, usually at your self-esteem, mentally and emotionally. And it will even be like, you're not going to wear that top, are you? Because it's not that flattering on you, or you're too chunky to wear that top, or you're not cute enough for that. But I'm only telling you that for your own good. And then eventually it will keep getting worse and worse until they've got the victim emotionally broken down.
According to Coacher, because most abuse starts as emotional or mental, that is the most typical common form of abuse. She also points out most women may not even realize they're being abused because there is no physical abuse.
I would say most common is emotional and mental, because all abuse typically starts in that fashion and then progresses one way or another. But I've never met a DV victim who had not started or at least been involved in emotional and mental abuse.
Statistically, 1 in 4 women are victims of some sort of abuse, domestic abuse. I've actually had clients come in who don't even realize they're being abused because their partners aren't hitting them. See that they're being financially and emotionally abused.
Yeah, a lot of women will put up, men as well, but the majority is women, will put up with a lot of emotional abuse, like Jennifer said, not realizing that that's truly abuse until it becomes physical.
Abusers will gradually start putting names on the things that belong to the victim, leaving them feeling powerless and like they have nothing. Coacher says it can sometimes go as far as putting their name on a child that isn't theirs. The Monticello Marching Sages High School Band is off to Bands of America in St. Louis this week. Band director Allison Allender is very pleased with how her students have worked hard, and it's paying off in the accomplishments they've attained during the competition season. Allender says the Marching Sages have had a lot of success in the competition schedule, up against schools of their own size and bigger than them, so they're looking forward to being in St. Louis against some of the premier programs in the nation.
Sure. So our first competition was down at the Metro East competition in O'Fallon, Illinois, so down south a little bit, and that's a big competition, and we're actually, that band competition is done by school size, so we were in the smallest class there, and we placed first in our class and had a really good showing for the start of the year.
Allender indicates the band left this morning and will perform at 4:15 this afternoon at the massive The Dome at America's Center in St. Louis. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Life is uncertain. Stop in and see me, State Farm Agent Jason France, on the west side of the Clinton Square, or click our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com and see how our full lineup of State Farm insurance and financial services can help protect your family.
Local farm broadcaster Jared White covers the local agriculture news you need to know. Hear his reports by downloading the free WHOW mobile app.
This is Noah Atkinson, owner of Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs in Lincoln. Our communities thrive thanks to small businesses. That's why I'm pleased to be the exclusive sponsor of the WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month.
CMP Custom Printing in Clinton are personalization professionals at your service, creating custom gifts, team gear including Clinton Maroon apparel, and specialty items. See the hundreds of items they offer by going online to cpcustomprinting.com. They'll receive a $200 gift certificate good at Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs for being our WHOW WEZC Lincoln Printers Business of the Month. Nominate a business you'd like featured by emailing us at whow@randyradio.com.
Lincoln Printers and Sign Designs salute this local business for helping make the community grow. And when it comes to envelopes, wedding invitations, signs, banners, vinyl wraps, and more, find us online at lincolnprintersinc.com.
Time now for a look at sports. I'm Seth Lawrence with this report. The Clinton Maroons will be looking for its first winning streak under second-year head coach Ron Bass tonight when they host Meridian in Central Illinois Conference high school football action. The Maroons picked up the first CIC victory in the Coach Bass era last Friday night in a chippy victory over Warrensburg Latham. Coach Bass was pleased with his team's composure during the game and then the way they were able to move the ball most of the night.
One of the biggest things I took away was the resilience of our kids and keeping their composure and their discipline throughout the course of the game. Things are getting a little chippy, and they were able to stay composed. And then, of course, you get into a little bit of a dogfight there as far as, at halftime it's only 7-6, and it's a really close game. And then able to come out in the second half and be able to pull away -1 defensive mistake. I mean, it was a pretty good half. I have a bubble screen that went for about 70 yards or so to Dawson, and that's what we've been waiting for, is like Dawson Graves and some of our other players, just to be some playmakers. And make plays. We put them in position to make plays and have that opportunity to make plays. And I feel like with Dawson's injury earlier in the year, he's just kind of been behind the whole season. So being able to bust a long one like that, I think that could give him a lot of confidence going into these last two games. And then as far as Tristan Potts goes, I challenged him and the offensive line to have another 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a row of having positive in the rushing area, over 200 yards rushing last week, and let's see if he can do it again, sort of thing. So, teams are going to key in on him, and still got to be able to perform even if they are.
Coming off a playoff berth last season, Meridian is led by a first-year coach with roots to Merle Forsyth. Coach Bass says they offer a lot of athleticism and will be another good challenge for his team.
New coach, new program. Obviously, I feel their struggles, because we went through that last year, and still it's a process, and we're still going through it right now too. So I can empathize with them a little bit. I feel like again, if we have an advantage, it's up front. I told our offensive and defensive line that they have to step up to the challenge because of the younger guys they got playing behind them. They have a really good receiver who I think is just a sophomore, if I remember correctly. He runs good routes, and he moves very well. So definitely going to have our hands full there. So we're definitely going to have to get home with our pass rush. I mean, that was one thing. If there was one thing that I was a little disappointed in on Friday night, was that we didn't get home on our pass rush as much as I would have liked.
Game time tonight is 7 o'clock. Hear the action right here on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, as well as the many WHOW digital platforms. Tonight in the CIC, Shelbyville travels to Decatur St. Teresa. Central A&M plays host to Sullivan Okaw Valley, and Warrensburg Latham is at Tuscola. After last Friday night's big victory over Paxton Buckley Loda, the Monticello Sages football team is looking for more this week when 5th-ranked Prairie Central comes to town for senior night. Coach Coley Welter was pleased with the way his team came ready to play in their big 41-26 victory, which qualified them for the postseason again in 2022. He says some games are about effort and wanting it more, and that was the case on Friday.
Yeah, I definitely think from the get-go we were ready to play. The kids came out fired up, and it doesn't always come down to that. I always kind of bristle a little bit when sometimes people think it all comes down to you just got to play harder, you got to play harder. Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes you got to want it more, and I thought that our kids really did want it. Friday night, and they came out, and it showed in their execution. It showed in the way they ran around on defense. It showed the way they gang tackled, and I just thought it was a really inspired performance by them. Pretty happy with our balance for the most part. I didn't realize throughout the game that Drew had over 100 yards rushing. I know that we run him a lot, but he had a pretty good job. He did a pretty good job running the ball, as well as Tyler. Our line was pretty efficient, and then we also mixed in the pass nicely. So I think we were pretty even with our yardage total. So overall, I was pretty pleased.
Prairie Central is traditionally a run-heavy offense, and while that's the case again this year, Coach Welter indicates they are adding a few more wrinkles to the equation this fall.
Traditionally, they're a triple option team. They still run some midline and some triple option, but they're much more of a ISO inside trap double dive team. So it's kind of a combination of what used to be a broken bone and a wing T type offense. Is something that was pretty common in the Quad Cities when I used to coach over there from the Augie days, Augustana, when they were very successful. So, and that's where Coach Quain is, where he went to college. So, they present a lot of problems because they've got a lot of speed. They've got a lot of different people they can get the ball to. There's constant motion, and they execute very quickly. So you have to be very disciplined with your eyes and very, very understanding of your role in order to have success against them. I mean, when you play teams like this, traditionally, you oftentimes don't even practice with the ball because it's so hard to tell who has the ball because they move around so quickly. And if you get caught watching the wrong thing, then they're going to run right by you. So, yeah, you have to have – each player has their own key, what their eyes are on, and they have to make sure they don't fluctuate from watching that key or they're going to get in trouble. So that's what their offense is predicated upon, that you're going to get caught watching the window dressing, and then you're going to lose your responsibility, and then they're going to find a gap, and they're going to be gone. So it's tough. Like I said, it's hard for your scout team to simulate because obviously not as big and strong and fast as the varsity team that you're playing. So it's really hard to mimic in practice, which makes it tough to prepare for. For a team that is run-oriented, that you would think would grind the ball out, they've got an awful lot of big play potential, and they have been scoring a lot of big plays. So they're getting a lot of possessions, and they're making short work of their possessions, and that's why they're scoring a lot of points.
Coach Welter anticipates the Hawks to be basic in their defensive sets, but aggressive at the same time. Game time tonight is 7 p.m. Hear all the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. Illini Prairie Conference High School football action tonight. Illinois Valley Central is at Pontiac. Rantoul plays host to St. Joe Ogden. And Tolono Unity is in a big matchup at Paxton Buckley Loda. Other Week 8 high school football action tonight. In 8-man football, Decatur LSA battles Edwardsville Metro East Lutheran. In 8-man football Saturday, Champaign St. Thomas More takes on Martinsville. Big 12 football this week. Champaign Central is at Bloomington. Richwoods hosts Danville. Normal Community is at Peoria Notre Dame to play at Richwoods. And Normal West plays host to Peoria. Central State 8 football tonight. Chatham Glenwood takes on Springfield at Springfield Southeast High School. Springfield Southeast plays host to Decatur Eisenhower. Decatur MacArthur is at Normal U High. Rochester hosts Jacksonville. And Springfield Sacred Heart Griffin takes on Springfield Lanphier. Tonight in the heart of Illinois, it'll be El Paso Gridley at Tremont. Tri-Valley battles Eureka. DMAC hosts Fieldcrest. Hayworth takes on Ridgeview Lexington. Leroy battles Morrison on Saturday. Lincoln Prairie football. Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond is at Sangamon Valley. Arcola will host Sarah Gordo Bement. Couple Saturday games. Argenta Orienta hosts Toledo Cumberland. And Villa Grove is at Tri-County. Mid-Illini football tonight. Pekin hosts Limestone. Dunlap travels to Morton. East Peoria is at Metamora. And Canton hosts Washington. Tonight in the Sangamo, Riverton hosts Athens. Maroa Forsyth will play host to New Berlin. Saturday, Pittsfield is at Petersburg Porta. Olympia is at Auburn. And Pleasant Plains hosts Williamsville. Non-conference football this week. Saturday action. Bloomington Central Catholic hosts Alton Marquette. Forreston is at GCMS, and Peoria Manual plays host to Marengo. High school volleyball action from Thursday night. Clinton outs Decatur MacArthur in 2 sets, 25-13 and 13-7. Toledo Cumberland used a big first set to get by Blue Ridge, 25-6 and 25-23 Thursday night in Lincoln Prairie High School girls volleyball action from Farmer City. Alexis Wicki led the Lady Knights with 11 digs. Phoebe Reynolds contributed 4 kills, and Gracie Schaefer had 6 assists, an ace, and a block. The Lady Knights dropped to 20-11 overall and 4-4 in the Lincoln Prairie. They'll return home Monday, hosting DeWitt County rival DeLand Weldon. The Illinois Fighting Illini will be leaning on the nation's leading rusher a little bit more this Saturday when Minnesota visits Memorial Stadium in Champaign for homecoming. Chase Brown leads the nation in rushing, and with quarterback Tommy DeVito out with injury this week, Illini HQ beat writer Bob Asmussen says the Illini will be leaning on the junior a little more than normal.
But I think they need to be careful game. Don't have a lot of turnovers. Don't have a lot of dumb, unforced penalties. But, yeah, they can definitely beat them. The defense at Illinois right now is playing so well. I think it's going to be hard for Minnesota to move the ball up and down the field. So I think Illinois get a turnover or two against Minnesota and take advantage of that. And Art Czerkowski has been in this position before and done well. So I think he will give them – he's a good backup to have. They'll be fine, and Chase Brown's there. So I think they have a chance to win. I'm going to pick Illinois to win a close game. They're going to be maybe a 27-21 game, something like that.
Illinois enters the AP Top 25 rankings for the first time in over a decade this week. Asmussen has a Top 25 vote and ranked Illinois number 23. Says, while you might think because he's close to the program and knows everyone well, he would give them a little more, he gives them rather a more critical review than you might think.
So I put them in number 23. And I would say going into Saturday, I did not think they'd make the top 25. I thought because last week they got a few votes, but I didn't think that they'd be able to jump high enough to get in the top 25. But I looked at all the other teams available, and they, to me, were at least in the top 25 and maybe a little bit better than that. I actually, at one point on Saturday, had them like 21st, 22nd. I had them move them down because I had a couple of other teams that needed to be in there. But yes, they play. What they've done to this point to be 5-1. Now, if they've beaten Indiana and we're 6-0, they'd be in the top 15. But they're not because they've lost that game. So that kind of hangs over their head a little bit. But to me, it was pretty easy to put them in, honestly. Because I cover Illinois, you think, well, of course I got to rank Illinois. Well, it doesn't work like that. I view it as my job to pick the teams that are deserving to be in the spots they're in. So I've had Ohio State #1 all year not because I'm loyal to the Big Ten, but because I think that's the best team. So I think Illinois, they earn the spot. If anything, I'm probably more critical of them because I do see them all the time. So I probably don't give them a break. I probably do the opposite, which I try to find the balance there too. So make sure I judge them properly.
The Golden Gophers are expected to have star running back Mo Ibrahim return from an ankle injury of his own in a battle that could factor heavily into the Big Ten West race. Minnesota allows just 222 yards per game, the top-ranked defense nationally. Additionally, they lead the country in time of possession, while Illinois checks in at number 8. Brown leads the country with 879 yards rushing and runs of more than 10 yards entering the week. Illinois defensive tackle Keith Randolph has a sack in his last 4 games. Coming off a big road win last weekend at Northern Illinois, Illinois State returns home to host South Dakota for homecoming at Hancock Stadium. The Redbirds offense was clicking on all cylinders in its win over Northern Iowa. Much of that had to do with a strong game up front from the offensive line led by senior Drew Bones. For his efforts, Bones was named the Missouri Valley Conference Offensive Lineman of the Week by the league office. He and the rest of the Redbird protection unit did not allow a sack to the Panthers and helped the Redbirds outgain Northern Iowa by a total of 409 to 366. Bones graded out an 89% in the contest and was credited with 4 knockdowns, no missed assignments, and did not allow any pressures for quarterback Zach Annexted. The ISU defense currently ranks 17th in the country in total defense, and much of that is to do with the amount of success the Redbirds have in getting to the quarterback. ISU ranks 6th in the country in team sacks per game with nearly 4 per contest and a total of 19 on the year. Keeping drives alive was crucial for the Redbirds in their victory at Northern Iowa as they converted an eye-popping level against the Panthers. ISU finished the game 13 for 20 on 3rd down and 2 of 2 on 4th down conversions against Northern Iowa, which ultimately led to the 2-point win for the Birds. With that success on 3rd down, ISU now ranks 16th in the country in 3rd down conversion percentage, which is also 3rd in the Valley. Game time is 2 o'clock from Hancock Stadium. Eastern Illinois won its 2nd consecutive game Saturday as they battled back and won back-to-back games for the first time since the 2017 season when they had 4 straight wins. The win moves EIU to 2-3 on the season as they play 3 of 4 games in the month of October at O'Brien Field in Charleston. EIU faces OVC newcomer Lindenwood this weekend, but the game will be counted as a non-conference contest for both schools due to a late schedule adjustment. After rushing for 339 yards in their last game at Murray State, the Panthers turned out even more yards in Saturday's win over Northwestern State, finishing with 340 and 4 rushing touchdowns. Game time is 2 o'clock Saturday. Hear the action at 1:30 with the pregame on the Big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM and 106.5 FM WHOW, as well as the many WHOW digital platforms. Get sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hi there, I'm here to tell you a little about this new program called Safe to Help Illinois.
Maybe you know somebody who's being bullied, or worse, thinking about hurting themselves or others. If you don't feel safe telling an adult about the things that are happening around you, check out Safe to Help.
Safe to Help is not about snitching or getting someone in trouble. It's about helping one another out.
You can call, you can text.
You can download the free mobile app, and it's all over social media.
So what do you say? Let's give it a try.
Brought to you by IEMA.
Introducing Kyber soybean herbicide from Corteva Agriscience, the newest premium Group 15 pre-emergent solution. Kyber delivers 3 effective modes of action for long-lasting residual activity, meaning your fields won't just be clean, they'll be Kyber clean. And what is Kyber clean? Well, it's a little like...
Nice fields.
See the difference at kyberherbicide.com/soy. That's KYBER herbicide.com/soy.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The latest update on retail sales, not encouraging. Sales were flat last month as inflation takes a toll on American household budgets. A stroll along one of the city's walking trails turned deadly yesterday afternoon for 5 people in Raleigh, North Carolina. They were shot and killed. The suspect, described by police as a juvenile male, was arrested last night. Embattled British Prime Minister Liz Truss has parted ways with her Treasury chief. Truss is struggling to calm jittery financial markets and hang on to her